हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू योर चैनल सिंपली इग्नाइटेड यूपीएससी एंड बीपीएससी। मुझे आशा है कि आप सब सुखी एवं सुरक्षित होंगे। तो बिना टाइम वेस्ट किए हुए चलते हैं हमारे अगले लेसन की ओर।
So as you can see, this is 17th March 2022 Thursday's paper, and let us identify the most important news. Now this is a news about one rank one pension scheme. Supreme Court has upheld this. Let's see how it has evolved. And after that there is this news. Government restores e-tourist visa for 156 country. We'll see what had happened here. And this patent right on COVID-19 jabs may be waived. We'll see why the patent right is being waived and all those related things. Okay. And as expected, jet fuel price raised by over 18%. We were expecting this because of the war. Okay, there is not much news on important news on page number 2. Same on page number 3, there is not much exam related news. Page number 4 also lacks such news. Let's go to page number 5. It's full of advertisement. Page number 6, editorial. Okay, now as you know that hijab judgment have come yesterday, only that the students are not allowed to wear hijab in the school premises, in the PU premises. After apart from that premises they are free to wear, but inside the PU premises, that is pre-university premises, they are not allowed to wear. So we'll have a series of articles coming in 2, 3, 4 days. So this is first of those, and here the author is saying that it is against the principle of liberty, equality and fraternity. We will see how. We'll try to understand his perspective, but let's move further. Now there is one more article on this. Karnataka High Court ruling on hijab failed to recognize this for reasonable accommodation. We'll use this keyword reasonable accommodation, but as per se these two articles are not very important from exam point of view. It is only the decision that may be cited here and there, and that too if the decision goes to Supreme Court, then we'll see what can be done. Okay? Clean energy must be backed by circular economy. Very good article, very important article it seems. I've not read it till now, but let's read it. Let's see what it has and how it can help us in our examination. After this we have this important article. United Nations votes are not black and white, but okay, this the author is himself is a seasoned diplomat, so we'll read his viewpoint. And there is a towards a more inclusive education, when inclusive development is a part of our syllabus, so this article becomes important. Let's move further. There's nothing much on this article. Yes, text and context. It is saying that yuan as a reference currency in interim altered, because we know that dollar and ruble are in state of war. So if yuan can become the new dollar or not, this is about this topic only. We'll see how it is. And yesterday I also did about sealed cover jurisprudence. We have a full-fledged article over here. We'll see what is there and how it is good, how it is bad. We'll see both aspects of this sealed cover jurisprudence process. Fine. After that, this page is not very important with respect to the examination. Now here also 2, 3 important news are there. Executive best suited to decide the policy. So Supreme Court has said something. We will try to understand what Supreme Court has said. And after that, there is also on the first page we have seen that one rank one pension scheme has been backed by Supreme Court also. Fine. There is House panel flags issuing plaguing MG and REGS Manrega scheme. Okay, we'll see what are the problem like corruption, fake jobs, pending payments, etc. We'll see the article and try to understand the things in more better perspective. This is more or less a political news page, so it is not much important. Now the minister is saying that electric vehicle sales will rise 10 times by 2022. We'll see how he has come to this decision. We'll read the article and try to understand his this perspective. And there is no plans to privatize railways. The government has said yesterday or day before yesterday, a member has asked that does the government plan to privatize railway, and today the government has given the answer. So on this page there is this news. ICJ tells Russia to halt invasion. Now there is a ICJ has come into picture one more time after the Kulbhushan Jadhav case. So we'll have to see what is ICJ, what is ICC, International Court of International Criminal Court. What is the difference between those two? What are the statutes behind them? We'll see in our static section. I'll just briefly discuss about it. On the economy page, there is not much news. On the sports page, our women team lost to England. Let's see how they can progress. And there is nothing more on this page also. And with this, the identification process completes. फर्स्ट न्यूज इज गवर्नमेंट रिस्टोर ई टूरिस्ट वीजा फॉर 156 कंट्री. गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया, ई टूरिस्ट वीजा जो है 156 कंट्री के लिए रिस्टोर कर दिया. और हमें ये समझना होगा कि किसने किया, किस मंत्रालय ने किया, तो होम मिनिस्ट्री ने किया. ओके, और यहाँ देख लेना है कि सिर्फ और सिर्फ जो है आपको क्या खुला है, ई टूरिस्ट वीजा खुला और सिर्फ एयर स्पेस खुला है. ठीक है, वी हैव ओपन ओनली स्पेस. ओके, we have however all land and riverine borders including Atari Wagah border post along Pakistan will continue to remain shut. समझ में आ गया. तो लैंड बॉर्डर, रिवराइन बॉर्डर और अतारी वाघा बॉर्डर जो पाकिस्तान से हम लोग खुलता है अमृतसर की तरफ, वो अभी भी बंद रहेगा. लेकिन जो पीपल ऑफ अफगानिस्तान नेशनल है उनके लिए जो ये फैसिलिटी है वो किससे गवर्न हो रहा है, ई इमरजेंसी एक्स 10th मिसलेनियस वीजा, तो ये अभी भी जारी रहेगा. ठीक है, होम मंत्रालय करता है, होम मिनिस्ट्री करता है. इसे बस याद रखने की, यही याद रखने की चीज है. पेटेंट राइट ऑन कोविड-19 जैब में भी वेव्ड. ठीक है, ईयू ने कहा है, यूरोपियन यूनियन ने प्रस्तावना दिया है कि इसको हटा दिया जाए. पेटेंट राइट ऑन कोविड-19 जैब्स, जैब्स मतलब वैक्सीन्स. ओके, now up to 5 years बोला है. ठीक है, EU against the backdrop of festering 2-year-old dispute at WTO. WTO में किसके बीच डिस्प्यूट हो रहा है, USA, EU और इंडिया इसमें पार्टी है. इंडिया का स्टांस क्या है, वेबर का स्टांस है कि हमें वेबर मिलना चाहिए. ठीक है, लेकिन EU ने क्या कहा है, नॉट अप्लाई टू COVID-19 ड्रग्स एंड डायग्नोस्टिक डिवाइसेस थ्रू EU, दो EU proposed a discussion on this, okay, will not apply to drug diagnostic devices एंड says EU proposal। समझ में आ गया? तो किस पे होगा, सिर्फ वैक्सीन पे बात कर रही है पेटेंट हटाने का, लेकिन ड्रग्स और डायग्नोस डिवाइसेस इसको जो है ये बोल रहा है कि इस पे से नहीं हटेगा, ओके। जेट फ्यूल प्राइस राइज ओवर 18% एक्सपेक्टेड, वाई oil increase in oil prices due to what, due to Russia Ukraine crisis, okay। एग्जीक्यूटिव बेस्ट सुटेड फॉर टू डिसाइड ऑन पॉलिसीज से एससी सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है कि एग्जीक्यूटिव क्या है, सबसे बेस्ट सुटेड होता है किसी पॉलिसी पे डिसाइड करने के लिए। इसका सार आपको यहाँ से मिल जाएगा। एक ये है डायलॉग नॉट एडजुडिकेशन इज सॉल्यूशन, मींस देयर शुड बी डायलॉग बिटवीन ऑल द पार्टीज, ऑल द स्टेक होल्डर्स शुड कम ऑन द टेबल। एक टेबल पे सब, एक मेज पे सब सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स को आना चाहिए और आपस में बातचीत करके किसी भी मसले को सुलझाना चाहिए। एडजुडिकेशन का भी सॉल्यूशन नहीं होता आमतौर पे, मतलब कि एक एडजुडिकेट कर दिया, कोई किसी ने डिसीजन दे दिया, डिग्री दे दिया, वो ऑब्वियसली हर वर्ग को हर बार सेटिस्फाई नहीं कर सकता है, सारे स्टेक होल्डर को वन टाइम सेटिस्फैक्शन नहीं मिलेगा उससे, ठीक है। इसलिए डायलॉग इज द ओनली सॉल्यूशन। ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है, किस केस को लेके कहा है, OROP को, वन रैंक वन पेंशन स्कीम पे जो केस चल रहा है उसको लेके कहा है, ठीक है। यहाँ पे पढ़ लेते हैं, डिसीजन ऑन पॉलिसी मैटर्स आर मोर सुटेबली एड्रेस्ड बाय इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स एज दे रिक्वायर टू नेगोशिएट, एज दे रिक्वायर नेगोशिएशंस, ट्रेड ऑफ एंड कंसेंसस ड्रिवन डिसीजन मेकिंग प्रोसेस, ओके। तो क्या होता है इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव के लिए, एक अच्छा लाइन नहीं है, हम लोग कहीं भी आंसर यूज कर सकते हैं, एज दे रिक्वायर नेगोशिएशंस, ट्रेड ऑफ एंड कंसेंसस ड्रिवन डिसीजन मेकिंग प्रोसेस, ठीक है। तो मान लेते हैं कोई अगर ऐसा कोई स्कीम आता है जो कि जिसका बहुत विरोध हो रहा है, जैसे कि फार्मर लॉ आया था जिसका बहुत तगड़ा विरोध हुआ था, तो उसमें क्या मिसिंग था, उसमें नेगोशिएशंस मिसिंग था, ट्रेड ऑफ मिसिंग था और कंसेंसस ड्रिवन डिसीजन मेकिंग मिसिंग था, ठीक है। क्लियर हो गया। एससी बैक सेंटर OROP स्कीम, ये पढ़ लेते हैं, इससे क्लियर हो जाएगा। द कोर्ट फाइंडेड नो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल, द कोर्ट फाउंड नो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल इन्फॉर्मिटी OROP प्रिंसिपल, ओके। तो प्रिंसिपल जो उसका गाइडिंग प्रिंसिपल है उसमें कोर्ट को कोई भी इन्फॉर्मिटी, कोई भी डिफेक्ट नहीं मिला है। ऑल पेंशनर्स हु होल्ड द सेम रैंक मे नॉट फॉर ऑल पर्पस फॉर्म ए होमोजेनियस क्लास, गौर से पढ़िए इसको, फॉर मे नॉट फॉर ऑल पर्पस, सारे पर्पस के लिए शायद हर समय एक होमोजेनियस ग्रुप के रूप में इन्हें नहीं देखा जा सकता, ये कोर्ट का मानना है। इट इज नॉट अ लीगल मैंडेट दैट पेंशनर्स हु होल्ड द सेम रैंक मस्ट बी गिवन सेम अमाउंट ऑफ पेंशन, और ये कोई लीगल मैंडेट भी नहीं है ऐसा, मतलब पेंशनर्स को, ओके, होमोजेनियस ग्रुप ऑल टाइम नहीं मानता है, ठीक है, कि जो कभी हो सकता है कभी नहीं भी हो सकता है, इसीलिए। और कोई भी क्या है, और दूसरा बात क्या बोला है कि ये लीगल मैंडेट नहीं है कि पेंशनर्स को जो सेम रैंक रख रहा है उसको सेम ही ये पेंशन दिया जाए। ये दो बातें बोली कोर्ट ने, ओके। और ये कोर्ट ने डायरेक्ट किया यूनियन गवर्नमेंट को टू कंडक्ट रिफिक्सेशन एक्सरसाइज फ्रॉम जुलाई 1, 2019। तो बेसिकली एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से सिर्फ इतना ही जानना था कि एक स्कीम है OROP, ठीक है। इसमें बात कहा जा रहा था कि एक रैंक पे एक ही पेंशन मिलना चाहिए। कोर्ट ने उसे होमोजेनियस ग्रुप मानने से इनकार कर दिया है, और इसके बाद देखते हैं आगे डेवलपमेंट्स क्या होती है ना। हाउस पैनल फ्लैग्स प्लेगिंग MG एंड REGS, तो कि कौन कौन से चैलेंज, ये क्या मतलब हो गया, चैलेंजेस ऑफ MG एंड REGS, ठीक है। देख लेते हैं, फेक जॉब्स, फेक जॉब कार्ड, वाइड स्प्रेड, लेट मी जूम इन। should be here, yes. Fake job card, widespread corruption, okay, late uploading of muster rolls, huge pending payments for wages and materials are among the issues hampering MG Narega, ठीक है। So when a question comes on MG Narega, these are one of the basic challenges of MG Narega, and basically it is what, it is related to the implementational aspect, okay। Apart from that, insufficient fund according to parliamentary standing committee, so इसमें again this is also plagued with that thing only, and the thing is funds, functions and functionaries, okay। So this is also MG Narega, okay, is also linked with this thing only, fine। now इसके बाद बस ये पॉइंट्स हमें जान लेना है, क्या होता है फेक जॉब्स और नॉट एग्जिस्टिंग वर्कर्स का कार्ड बना देता है, ठीक है। वाइड स्प्रेड करप्शन है, मस्टर रोल को अपलोड करने में देर कर देता है जान के, पेंडिंग पेमेंट्स है, यही सब इसका प्रॉब्लम। EV इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स, ठीक है, vehicles, so it will rise 10 times by 2022. Government believes that it will rise, and it released this based on the official data which government has access to, and apart from that the government is also giving more impetus to hydrogen as a fuel. They are saying hydrogen is the fuel of future, okay, is the fuel of, so except one thing, that there may be a case where government is promoting hydrogen by national hydrogen mission, right, hydrogen mission to make India global hub of hydrogen production. Okay, so government is also giving more and more impetus to these things. So we expect a question in GS3 paper. Okay, science section. No plan to privatize railway. Government has said yes, it is practically impossible to privatize railways. I'm saying practically impossible. I'm not saying impossible. So mind the words. And उसके अलावा जो एक और बात हमें समझनी चाहिए कि आज तक वर्ल्ड में जितने भी एग्जाम्पल है प्राइवेटाइज रेलवे के वो बहुत ज़्यादा हाई स्केल पे सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो पाए हैं. और दूसरी जो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है, इंडिया की ज्योग्राफी इतनी वास्ट और वैरिंग है कि उसमें एक प्राइवेट प्लेयर के लिए इस तरह का बहुत बड़ा ये रेलवे टाइप ऑफ इंडस्ट्रीज को चलाना बहुत मुश्किल होगा एक प्राइवेट प्लेयर के लिए. इसलिए गवर्नमेंट ही चाहिए जो कि प्रॉपर विश्वास जगाए रखेगा अपने सिटीजन्स में. ठीक है. और इसके अलावा आईसीजे टेल्स रशिया टू हॉल्ट इन्वेजन. इसमें बस यही जानना है कि आईसीजे वर्सेस आईसीसी क्या है. तो आप मुझे कमेंट में लिख के बताएं कि आईसीजे वर्सेस आईसीसी के बारे में कुछ मुझे कमेंट में बताएं. इसका किस स्टैट्यूट के अंदर है, कौन कौन इसका मेंबर्स होता है. ठीक है. इसका जुरिस्डिक्शंस क्या होता है. बहुत ईजी है. अब इसे स्टैटिक्स में तो आपको मिल ही जाएगा, फिर भी एक बार कोशिश करें, देखें क्या होता है इसमें. ठीक है. अब हम लोग के पास 3-4 एडिटोरियल्स है. एक्चुअली में 5 एडिटोरियल्स. ओके, तो आज लंबा एडिटोरियल्स है. 8 में से 5 एडिटोरियल्स इंपॉर्टेंट, 6 में से 5 एडिटोरियल्स आज हमारे लिए काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है. लेट्स सी. ट्रीटिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ इंडिविजुअल फ्रीडम ओके एज अ ट्रिफल. ट्रिफल मीन्स क्या होता है? थिंग्स ऑफ नो वैल्यू. ओके. Now it is saying, the article is saying simply that the hijab judgment that came yesterday, and day before yesterday to be precise, okay, has led to what is a blow against the three cardinal principle of Indian democracy, that is liberty, equality and fraternity. So ये जो है कह रहा है कि जो हिजाब का जजमेंट आया है, ठीक है, वो किसके अगेंस्ट है, वो किसको नुकसानदायक, किसके लिए नुकसानदायक है? लिबर्टी, इक्वालिटी और फ्रैटर्निटी, जो इंडियन प्रिंसिपल, इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी का कार्डिनल वैल्यूज होता है, जिसके ऊपर इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी पूरी एस्टेब्लिश्ड है, उसी को ये नुकसानदायक है, उसी के लिए. इन्होंने बताया है कि बी आर अम्बेडकर ने कहा था लिबर्टी, इक्वालिटी एंड फ्रैटर्निटी वेयर प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ लाइफ, अ यूनियन ऑफ ट्रिनिटी, डाइवोर्स ऑफ वन फ्रॉम अनदर, एंड द वेरी पर्पस ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी विल बी डिफीटेड. ये डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर ने कहा था. इस लाइन को हम यूज कर सकते हैं GS2 के आंसर में. ठीक है. जहां पे हम गवर्नेंस की बात करेंगे और जहां पे हम सोशल जस्टिस की बात करेंगे, वहां पे इस लाइन को बहुत इजीली यूज किया जा सकता था. कोर्ट ने क्या कहा? कोर्ट ने कहा कि फर्स्ट द कोर्ट हेल्ड दैट वियरिंग अ हिजाब इज नॉट एसेंशियल प्रैक्टिस ऑफ इस्लाम. ठीक है. तो एसेंशियल प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट में ये फेल कर गया ये चीज. इसीलिए जो पेटिशनर्स का राइट टू फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन यहाँ पे इंप्रिंज नहीं होता है. सेकंड, इसने कहा कि कोई सब्सटैंटिव राइट टू फ्री एक्सप्रेशन एंड प्राइवेसी. Second, it finds that there is no substantive right to free expression and privacy that can be claimed within confines of classroom. तो बोल रहा है कि ये प्राइवेसी और ये जो एक्सप्रेशन है वो क्लासरूम के अंदर एक सब्सटैंटिव राइट के फॉर्म में नहीं देखा जा सकता है. ठीक है. और तीसरा बात ये बोल रहा है कि since government orders do not by itself ban the use of hijab and since it is otherwise neutral, ठीक है, there is no discrimination aimed at Muslim women student. तो इसने क्या कहा? गवर्नमेंट ऑर्डर ने हिजाब को बैन नहीं किया था. गवर्नमेंट ऑर्डर ने क्या बैन किया था? गवर्नमेंट ऑर्डर ने प्री यूनिवर्सिटी में हिजाब पहनने को बैन किया था. ठीक है. यूनिवर्सिटी कैंपस के अंदर. और यूनिवर्सिटी कैंपस के अंदर जैसा कोर्ट ने भी माना है कि कोई सब्सटैंटिव राइट नहीं होता फ्री एक्सप्रेशन और प्राइवेसी का. तो इसी कारण गवर्नमेंट का ऑर्डर जो है किसी भी तरह से डिस्क्रिमिनेट नहीं कर रहा था मुस्लिम वुमेन को. मुस्लिम वुमेन चाहे तो अभी भी हिजाब स्कूल से बाहर पहन के जा सकती है, मार्केट जा सकती है, मेट्रो में जा सकती है, कहीं भी जा सकती है, उन्हें कोई दिक्कत नहीं होनी चाहिए उससे. ठीक है. लेकिन स्कूल के अंदर उन्हें पहनने पर फिलहाल के लिए हाईकोर्ट ने अपने वर्डिक्ट के हिसाब से लिटरली रोक लगा दिया. बट दे आर फ्री टू गो टू सुप्रीम कोर्ट बिकॉज इट इज देयर राइट एंड एवरीवन्स राइट शुड बी प्रोटेक्टेड. ओके. इसके अलावा इस आर्टिकल में वही बातें कही गई हैं कि इसको एक्सप्लेन करने की कोशिश की कि लिबर्टी, इक्वालिटी और फ्रैटर्निटी किस तरह से अफेक्ट हो रहा है और क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, कि कोर्ट को कैसा स्टांस लेना चाहिए. तो ये स्टांस एक बहुत ही खराब प्रेसिडेंट सेट करेगा एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट. ओके. एक चीज और है इसमें, ऑन क्लासरूम स्पेसेस द कोर्ट हैज हेल्ड दैट classrooms are qualified public spaces and where individual rights cannot be asserted to the detriment of general discipline and decorum. मीन्स कि स्कूल और कॉलेजेस जो भी इस तरह का होता है विद्या संस्थान, वहाँ पे क्या है बात, वहाँ पे ये कि वो क्वालिफाइड प्लेसेस है. इसीलिए जो फ्रीडम होता है ऑफ इंडिविजुअल राइट्स जो है उसको असर्ट नहीं किया जा सकता वहाँ के जनरल डिसिप्लिन और डेकोरम को नीचे करते हुए. मीन्स द इंडिविजुअल राइट कैन नॉट गेन अ पेडेस्ट्रियल as far as the general discipline and decorum of that qualified institution or public space is concerned. ठीक है. उसके अलावा यहाँ पे तो वही सब बातें, टेस्ट ऑफ प्रोपोर्शनैलिटी फेल कर जाएगा एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. सो लेट्स सी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में क्या होता है. अभी फिलहाल अभी के लिए जो सेटल फैक्ट है वो ये है कि हिजाब इज नॉट अलाउड इनसाइड PU कैंपस in Karnataka and this will set a example for all. This law will be valid for all the universities or all the education institutions of Karnataka because Karnataka High Court has given it unless and until it has a sufficient nexus cause and excess with other states, this law will be applicable in Karnataka. And let's see if Supreme Court gives the order in favor of in lines of Karnataka High Court, then it will become a pan-India order, or else the court, if reverses the decision, we'll see accordingly what are the developments. But for now, it is a settled fact that you students are not allowed to wear hijab inside the campus. Okay, so let's move further. We are here right now. We are done with this. Now let's see this article. Essentially flawed. Okay, let's see. It is again the same thing. It is reasonable accommodation. Okay, Karnataka High Court ruling on hijab fails to recognize the need for reasonable accommodation. The article is directly accusing, or it is not accusing exactly, critical of SC's decision. Okay, it has a right to be critical if it don't like the decision. Okay, here it is a very good point. Appeal norms may be needed in qualified public spaces such as schools, but there is no reason to accommodate the choice of additional piece of clothing that does not interfere with prescribed norm. It is saying that, okay, fine, what is the problem if the dress code is the color of the hijab? It has not mentioned here hijab. I think it is deliberately not mentioned. Okay, it is my opinion. You may have a different opinion. That's perfectly fine. So, but we have to see that yes, no reason to accommodate the choice of additional piece of clothing that does not interfere with prescribed uniform. So, if there is a uniform, then with the same clothing color, the girls can wear hijab as well. But again, the problem there will be what? The problem will this will create a problem of identification, okay, or you say identification of Muslim women, Muslim girls in schools directly by seeing them, and this is the problem. The role of uniform is what? To create uniformity among the students. The role of uniform is not that to express your own wish and fancy that I should be wearing this, I should be wearing that. If everybody starts wearing their uniform, then some will use scarf, some will use dupatta, the boys will use start using hairbands and all those things. And they want to grow hair, then they will start using hairband of the color of the dress, and in this way, the entire uniform, the entire discipline that needs to be inculcated in that tender age will the entire purpose of that discipline inculcation process in that tender state will be defeated. So what is the main role of uniform? It is to foster the feelings of equality and fraternity among the students, that they are equal in both status, by in terms of status, in terms of religion, in terms of everything, because the teacher does not differentiate between the students based on their belief, their status, their monetary values of their monetary status of their parents, and all those factors. Okay, so we have to understand this. So in my opinion, court has taken a correct stance. I may be wrong, but for now it is a settled fact that we must understand. Let's see what Supreme Court has to say. And I totally disagree with this point of this article. I have my own reasons that I have given. You may like it, you may not like it. It is entirely up to you. Let's move forward. Sometimes something is essential practice only in absence of removal of effect of destroying the religion. In the article from here onwards, it is saying that what is the need for that essential practice test, because the essential practice test itself has such a stringent standards that very few things of a religion can pass through that test. Okay, and the standard is something is an essential practice only if its absence or removal has the effect of destroying the religion itself. Fine. So therefore it is saying this. Okay, this entire thing is justified by, can be understood in this one line, that what is the test of essentiality or essential practices? That if the thing is there, if that practice, if it is absent or if it is removed from that religion, then entire religion will be destroyed. Okay, so this is what is the what this line wants to explain. Let's move further. And there is nothing much, same line here also. Okay, so in total I feel that this article, essentially flawed, is an article written in haste. Okay, it is a hasty article just to do what? Just to inculcate or just to excite the feelings of the readers, so that they either become for or against it. But understand these things, that world itself works not in binaries, but it is the mix of the best of both worlds that is used. You cannot be, things cannot not always be positive or negative. It always lies here. For some it will be positive, for some it will be negative, for some it will be 6, and for other it will be 9. So we have to understand this thing. Okay, and always the world is in gray. We take decision in gray. India has been abstaining from UN vote. This itself indicates that India, it has shown that things more or less remains in gray. We cannot be pro a thing totally, or we cannot be against it totally. We have to take best of both worlds. Fine, let's move further. Clean energy must use battery of circular economy. A very good article to understand what exactly should clean energy, how the clean energy should progress. Now this I have also dealt yesterday. In yesterday's newspaper there was this article on solar energy part, and in that also there was the mention of circular economy. Obviously clean solar energy is a type of clean energy only because it is generated from a renewable source. So more or less the article is same in many ways, but there are things that are different. It proposes some idea. Okay, ये कुछ ideas propose करता है, हम लोग देखेंगे क्या आइडियाज प्रपोज करता है। पहला बात ये बोला कि सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी रहेगा, तो उसके चलते क्या होगा, हमें सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी, लीनियर इकोनॉमी जो अभी है उसको रिप्लेस करना होगा सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी। सर ये लीनियर इकोनॉमी क्या होता है? लीनियर इकोनॉमी होता है, देखो, प्रोडक्शन, ओके, कंजम्पशन, ओके, एंड देन वेस्ट जनरेशन, डन, जनरेशन एंड इट्स नॉट like this, waste generation and discard. Okay, this is your linear economy model. It is the most basic type of model I have made. There may be more stages involved, like in production you have various stages, in consumption you can have various stages, first degree consumption, second degree consumption, waste generation can be something else. Okay, but this is the most generalized model. Now what is circular economy? Look, circular economy obviously will be circular. There will be a production stage. Now what will production need? Production will need raw materials, especially raw materials will be needed. Okay, so here also raw material will be needed, right? You understand this? Now there will be consumption, there will be reuse and recycle, okay, and then there will be waste generation. Fine. Now what will happen? Look, production to consumption, it will come. After consumption there will be reuse. Okay, so reuse will lead to what? Again consumption, reuse until it is finally reused or done. Then we have to do what? We have to at this stage we do what? At this stage we recover what let me write it. Waste to wealth principle. Okay, principle is applied. Now what is this waste to wealth principle? Means we will recover whatever we can get from the waste, and then we will throw out the waste. Okay, then waste generation will be what? In this way, by using this, what will happen? This will lead to minimum waste generation, right? Waste generation, and whatever यहाँ पे क्या होगा, what we have recovered raw material from waste itself. Okay, discarded waste, use and recycle waste generation. Now this would do what? This would lead to what? This will be pushed back or supplied in production part. Okay, then it will lead to what? Minimization of raw material. Okay, now this minimization of raw material will lead to even cost, better production, less cost involved, and all those things. Okay, this is clear what is this circular economy. Now let's move on to it. There is a market estimate. Yesterday also we have seen the data that according to INEA, the cumulative waste generated in India, total installed solar capacity will be as high as 325 kilotons by 2030. So it will be around 325-330 kilotons by 2030. So a lot of recovery is possible from that, and if that recovered raw material is supplied in production stage, then in entirety we will have to mine less raw materials. Okay, and mining less raw materials will have multiple spillover effects, positive spillover effects, right? So it has proposed six things proposed. Yeah, 6 ideas proposed. Okay, what are those ideas? We'll see. First, as per clear legislation. Okay, plus let's see. First let us read it. First, should revise the existing electronic waste management rule for various clean energy program under the ambit. These rules are based on extended EPR पे based है, ठीक है, इसीलिए इसको रिवाइज करना बहुत जरूरी है ताकि पता चले कौन सा कंपनी जो है, मतलब कौन सा प्रोड्यूसर किस चीज के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, क्लियरली लिखा होना चाहिए, यही सब लिखा है। सेकंड है, डंपिंग एंड बर्निंग ऑफ डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट शुड बी बैंड। ओके, dumping and burning banned. Why? Because it leads to leaching of heavy metals inside the earth. That may lead to many kinds of pollution, including groundwater pollution. Fine. Third is R&D is essential. Research and development at each stage. Okay, at each stage of production, consumption, reuse, recycle, waste generation, at every stage R&D is needed. Okay, R&D is needed. It is the third point. The fourth point is obviously here. It has to be created innovative financing routes for waste management. Obviously, finance is one of the challenge. Yesterday we have also discussed. So the fourth is financing. Innovative methods we need of financing. Fine. And the fifth one is there needs to be an improved product design and quality. Obviously, design and quality improvement. Why? Because there is a lot of R&D and design, efficient design it has to be done in all these renewable energy field. It is still in the budding stage, so it is possible here also. And the sixth is stringent quality checks at each level. Okay, stringent quality checks. Okay, give it a read. It is a very easy article. These are the 6 ideas that are given in it. Okay, then now let's move further. There are two. This is the news. United Nations votes are not black and white. As I was saying right now, also that things are not in binary. It is always in gray. Now I should use a very other specific term. It is not in binary. It is never in binary. It is in qubits. Okay. Qubit means at a time a particle can show 1 or 0 or both. It can be in any state. Okay. Binary means at a time either particle is saying is 1 or 0. It cannot be both at the same time. Okay. Delegation do not vote for or against other country. They vote for themselves. This is the line we must remember to use in GS2 answers, especially IR section. Okay, this is what the entire crux of the article can be seen in this. You read this article, I'll give you a brief premises. The UN regulation and practices on voting and design are designed to enable the delegation to express their national opinion, taking into account their vital national interest. In the ultimate analysis, delegations do not vote for or against them against other country. They vote for themselves. Means why is the voting system there? Voting system is for what? To express our national interest. Okay, fine. And plus yesterday's, as we have seen, what was that? Bharat Natyam style of diplomacy. Fine. Now anything else here? Yes, India has expressed its fundamental position that war is not a solution and diplomacy should be the only prevailing only option to prevail war. So this is India's stand, that is in consonant with, or that is in consistence with what? In consistent with India's national interest, right? And no other country should lecture India about its national interest. We best know our national interest because we are a totally sovereign country. Okay. Now let's move further towards inclusive education. Very easy article. It is just saying to include Divyang people as well as understand their need and help to create a more sensitized educational environment. Okay. Now Divyang people should we need to sensitize student as well as teacher regarding the Divyang people because how the trauma they suffer and the problems they suffer due to the inability given by God to them. Okay. So we must sensitize to them. We must understand their problem and then we must create an educational environment that gives them the equal opportunity to learn and grow. Fine. This is the crux of this article. No need to go very deep into it. Just give it a read. The crux, this Divyang people angle should be reflected in educational answer of GS1. Okay. Society section, education part, education answers plus GS2, social justice section. Okay, and in this also education answers. So at two places we can have this this thing can appear at two places, and whenever education appears you can give, because education is a very infrastructural type, very basic infrastructure, and we must make it sustainable and accommodative for all. Fine. In terms of what yuan as a reference currency for intermonetary, it is a very simple thing. Look, Russia, okay, has been sanctioned by USA, and USA does what? It just stops the use of dollar for international transactions. Okay, now this is what? This is financial attack. Fine. Now that means what? Russia cannot use internationally accepted dollar for trade, so it want to trade with, say, India. Fine. Oil trade. Okay, oil trade. How will they do? There are two options, either in rupees, ruble, or in other currency. Okay, in rupees, ruble, if it does, then both rupees and ruble are not internationally very accepted and very accepted kind of currency. So this is a problem. Their universality is a problem. Okay, universality is a challenge. They don't have universal acceptance, but dollar क्या है? Dollar universal acceptable है, universally acceptable है अभी as on date. Okay. Now other currency में क्या? Either we can just trade for time being in that currency. Means इसका मतलब ये होगा कि we'll just trade the things together in that currency, that for some, say, for X currency we are trading, the trading partners will trade in X currency just on paper, but actually they will trade in dollar only, but on paper they will trade in X currency, so that this problem is resolved. Or they can actually trade in that currency, not on paper but actually trade in that currency. Now this is the thing in this paper. Now which currency can be there? This other currency can be yuan. Why? Because China has emerged as a what? As a global eco power, although its market capture is very low. Now this is it. For oil trade between India and Russia, neither ruble nor Indian rupee is suitable as global currency for trade. Therefore, yuan can become an alternate option for the meantime. But there are pros and cons to this also. Look, we cannot be dependent like dollars we cannot have our things of our products in yuan. Such a high reserves cannot be just settled in yuan. Say if Chinese economy fail tomorrow, then what will happen? It has happened with the German economy now in past. So it could be very challenging, a very challenging type of step, and India need to calibrate its position on this thing, in my opinion. Curious case of seat covered jurisprudence, we have already dealt with this in yesterday's newspaper. I'll just give you some examples where it has been used. Look, first let us see one thing. While a specific law does not define doctrine of seal cover, Supreme Court derived its power to use it from Rule 7 of Order 13 of Supreme Court Rules and Section 123 of Evidence Act. Okay, so there is no law regarding it. It is just rules of Supreme Court that allows it. Fine, there is examples. Rafael deal. Okay, NRC case. After that, there was a PCCI Reforms Act, Bhima Koregaon case, 2G scam, coal scam, Ram Janambhoomi case. These are all related to. And in these all seal cover jurisprudence was used. After that, क्रिटिसिज्म क्या है? बहुत सिंपल क्रिटिसिजन है. प्रिंसिपल ऑफ ट्रांसपेरेंसी एंड अकाउंटेबिलिटी को ये हैम्पर करता है. आइडिया ऑफ ओपन कोर्ट को ये हैम्पर करता है. ठीक है. उसके अलावा जो है स्टेट को क्या ऐसा पावर मिलना चाहिए, क्योंकि स्टेट तो हम लोग स्टेट को तो सबसे ज्यादा ट्रांसपेरेंट रहना चाहिए, लेकिन स्टेट यहाँ पे ट्रांसपेरेंसी शो नहीं करती है. एक प्रॉब्लम है. इसका जस्ट पढ़ लेते हैं. ये तो पता नहीं है क्या होता है. ये वाला critics of this practice contain that in the favorable principles of transparency and accountability to in judicial system are lost by using this. Okay, so this is the I think end of today's newspaper. Yes, I am correct. So by this news we end today's analysis.
मुझे आशा है कि आपको यह लेसन पसंद आया होगा. अगर आपको यह पसंद आया तो इसे एक लाइक दें और शेयर करें. इससे हमारी बहुत मदद होती है. साथ ही अगर अभी तक चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो इसे अभी सब्सक्राइब करें. मन लगाकर पढ़ें और अपने सपनों को पूरा करें. स्वस्थ रहें, सुरक्षित रहें. जय हिंद.